Okay, so driving downtown, well, mostly downtown. I'm gonna drive down to one of the train stations and then take the train the last couple of miles in because I hate parking downtown. It's a pain in the butt. Even though where I'm going has parking, it's still a pain in the butt. So please ignore any rattling you hear because I don't know where that's coming from. I will have to find that hopefully this weekend when it's a little warmer. So if you're familiar with the Denver area, which is where I'm at, then this is the Park Meadows region. I am leaving and I'm going to jump on I-25, which is that highway you see up there, a little higher than this way. Ironically, not why they call it a highway. So you can see that highway up there. You can see the cars going by. That's Interstate I-25, which I will be jumping on here in a second. Well, give me like a minute. Okay, I'm behind this construction equipment. Give me like 10 minutes. Holy crap, this is gonna take forever. Because there are 3 pieces of construction equipment in front of me, and 2 of them are tractors. One looks like one of those scooper thingies. I don't know what they're called, but it's on treads or tracks, like a tank. I don't know what those things are called. The other one is like a little bobcat that's used for just moving small amounts of dirt and whatnot. You know, some people rent them for yard work. And then there's this flatbed, which you can see with the blinking light there. Awesome. And you can hear my blinker going because I always use my blinker. It is a pet peeve of mine. And again, there may be some camera shake here and there because Colorado roads are horrendous. So yeah, funny story. I do surveys, product surveys, now and again to make a little extra money on the side. And most recently, I've been working on a detergent survey, a laundry detergent. It's been 6 weeks, I think. And, you know, I had to do laundry with the detergent they gave me and give feedback about, you know, the different types of responses or opinions about the individual detergents. And I've had to try a couple of them. You know, how does it smell? Did it clean good enough? Did your clothes come out feeling good? You know, did they dry well? Did they, you know, were they soft? Were they stiff? Things like that. Well, I got the notification that the final survey needed to be in today. And I still had, you know, 1 load of laundry left to do. So I ran to a nearby laundromat and I did some laundry. And while I'm there, I start talking to this old guy, or I think he started talking to me. I had brought a book, but I think he just wanted somebody to chat with. So we started talking. Turns out he was, I think, 76 or 77. You know, he had worked for the federal government or the military, and not being in the military, he had worked as a military contractor in the 60s and 70s, where he was a helicopter mechanic, and then he moved to Denver, he said, where he opened up a automobile repair shop or garage, where he specialized in European cars, particularly British cars. Cool, right? And you know, and then he sold his shop to a guy that worked for him. He's like, yeah, I hired this guy. He was 18 years old. He worked for me for years. When I wanted to retire, he said he wanted to buy my shop from me, and I said, sure. So I sold it to him. He goes, the guy was like 6'3", 6'4", and probably 400 pounds. He goes, and the whole time he worked for me, we got into a number of fist fights. I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, and each and every time he beat my ass. And I was like, and you still employed him? He's like, yeah. He goes, well, we just had a difference of opinion and we got into fights. It was no big deal, but yeah. I was like, all right. So, you know, he's telling me about his life and stuff, and how at 76, 77 years old, he still never learned how to read. He still, to this day, could not read. And I asked him how he could work for the government and how he could operate a business when he couldn't read. You know, how did he read manuals? How did he follow instructions? How did he know how to do taxes? Things like that. So fast forward, you know, where he's telling me about his kids and his grandkids and his cousins and their kids and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, how he just moved in with his daughter, who's probably, you know, in her 50s or something herself. And, you know, how his grandkids are a couple of teenage girls, and, you know, this and that. And, you know, the differences in life between when he was a kid and his kids were kids and now his grandkids are kids. And we were having a fun discussion. I mean, we were bantering back and forth, kind of teasing each other a little bit. There was one part. He starts to tell me a story, and it was hilarious. He goes, yeah, my parents had a son and a daughter. And I cut him off, and I was like, so which one were you? And he looked at me, and he's like, boy, I'm about to beat your ass. And I was like, apparently, you like to lose fights. So I don't think you're going to beat my ass. He looked at me, and he started laughing, and he's like, yeah. It was funny. And then, you know, I was pulling stuff out of the dryer, and I had a couple of things that weren't all the way dry, but they were dry enough. This is Colorado. The air's dry here naturally, so if you take something damp and hang it up, it'll be dry in 20, 30 minutes anyway. But, you know, he was nice, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I got a couple dryers going, just throw it in there, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, it's all good, dude. I'll just hang it up. It was literally a sweater that was still a little damp on the arms, and a towel that I used for the gym. Didn't care. So, yeah, super nice guy. We had a fun conversation. Yeah, and it was, I mean, I told like 3 or 4 people about the conversation yesterday because it was just so much fun for me. And the guy was good. I mean, he, aside from that one spot where he said he was going to beat my ass, you know, he gave as good as he got. And even then, he laughed at the end. Like, he knew it was a joke. I have another friend who doesn't understand jokes, who gets very offended when I make jokes like that. And I'm like, dude, calm down. It's just teasing. He's like, I don't care. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if we can hang out a lot anymore because this is how I'm around people. I joke around, I tease, I banter back and forth. If you can't handle that, then I don't know how we're going to hang out going forward. And I feel bad because the dude has stage 4 cancer and a lot of his friends abandoned him. And his mom even told me, because he's 40-ish. But he moved back in with his mom because he couldn't be on his own anymore. His mom she's a nurse. She takes care of him. She makes sure he takes his medication. She talks to his doctors, makes sure that everything's kosher. But his mom told me that he's starting to get chemo brain, which is apparently something where they're doing so much chemotherapy that the brain starts to suffer, like memory loss and personality change, I guess. So I've been writing a lot of it up to that. But this particular friend also, how do I say this politely? He has a warped sense of manhood. Like, he walks around, you know, telling people he's the man, he's the man. Not like, yeah, I'm the man. Like, you know, Not like he's, just telling people like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm awesome, or anything like that. No. He's saying it like specifically when he talks about dating women. He's like, no, I'm the man. I tell them where to be. I tell them how to dress. I tell them what we're doing. I tell them, what to make me for dinner. I'm the man. Like that kind of thing. Like he's trying to be what he thinks an alpha male is. Because he's watched too many videos of alpha male wannabes on the internet or something. I don't know. But when you're alpha, when you're the man, you don't have to tell people. They know it by your actions, by your presence. It's not something you have to explain. But he starts getting into that kind of thing where he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I really don't like it because I disagree with that whole personality type. I've tried to tell him numerous times that, women are their own people. They can make their own decisions. And if you're in a relationship, you make decisions together. You don't dictate decisions. And he would respond with, no. I'm the man. I'm the man. I make the decisions. And I'm like, that's not how relationships work. And that might be why you don't have any relationships that work. Now, am I in a relationship at the moment? No. But that's by choice. I haven't asked anybody out in a while. I've been working through some stuff on myself, trying to figure out what I can do to be a better person, trying to figure out my goals in life. And I say that, when I'm technically considered middle-aged. Like, I am definitely closer to 50 than 40. But yeah, a couple years ago, I started questioning everything. I did that when I was a young teenager. I questioned everything that I had learned, everything that, my parents had taught me, that schools had taught me, blah, blah, blah. That I had learned from my friends and, from the culture where I grew up, which was Southern. And I started questioning, like, why? Why am I like this? Why do we believe this? Etc. And it changed my whole outlook on life. And I started doing that again about a year or two ago. I started questioning, like, not what I know, or how I fit into life, but systems. Political systems, capitalistic systems, sociological systems, religious systems. I started questioning all these things and, why, we have these systems and we allow them to define us as individuals. So, anywho, I've been working through a lot of that kind of stuff, and, honestly, I haven't asked anybody out. So, but I have a lot of female friends. I have female friends that are younger than me, female friends that are older than me, female friends that are married, that are single. I have, female friends. So when I'm telling this guy that, that's not how women want to be treated, and I say that under the guide that, of course there are some women out there who want a man to take charge. I understand that. I'm not saying that women don't like that. However, know who you're talking to. Like, he dated one girl for, this particular friend dated one girl for a few weeks, maybe a month and a half, where she told me, we went bowling or something, and she told me that she likes a man who makes the decisions. And I was like, cool, you're with the right guy, because he wants to make the decisions. But he's got stage 4 cancer, and a lot of women don't want to date him because of his stage 4 cancer. And we were out on Saturday, and he was whining about that, and I'm like, dude, I understand where the women are coming from. They don't want to put time and effort. They don't want to become emotionally attached. Just that you could die at any moment. Like, you could die tomorrow. You could die next week or next month. Like, you are on a timer. I can completely understand why, a lot of women wouldn't want to get involved with that. He's like, yeah, but I don't look... I don't want to say he's in denial, but he's in denial. He's like, but I don't look sick. Like, it doesn't matter if you look sick, you are sick. He's like, but I don't act sick. Like, yes, you do. You just downplay it. Like, you're slower, you can't walk as fast, you can't take stairs. You know, there's a lot of things you can't do. You can't hold a job. You're on disability. You know, some women don't want to deal with that. You still like to go out to the bars and get a drink on, and you still like to go clubbing and dance. But I've seen you at the club. I've seen you dancing, and you just kind of sway back and forth. You know, you are sick. People notice. So yeah, he. Would I hook him up with any female friends of mine? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not think that he would treat them correctly. He was with a girl for, I think, 14 years off and on. And she actually died while they went on their on again. She was roughly my age, and she had a heart attack on him. But she, you know, I'm guessing, because I've met her a bunch of times, and she's a very sweet woman. But I'm guessing he would get into his I'm the man mentality, and she would say, yeah, we're not doing that. And then, you know, they'd break up for, you know, a few months or half a year or whatever, and then they get back together. But she also had her own issues. She worked for a company that, you know, fed her energy drinks all day long, and she got into connection with a bunch of people who did drugs, like cocaine and ecstasy, and I don't know if she ever got into meth or anything, but she got into drugs socially, you know, to quote unquote stay awake and stay on her game because she was in sales. You know, that whole stereotype. Yeah, so apparently she was on drugs when she had the heart attack. And she wasn't a healthy person either. She was maybe 5'6" and probably pushing 350 pounds. And, you know, a lot of it was not muscle, I guess is the nicest way to say it. So, anywho, yeah, he's running through some stuff, and I'm his only friend, so he dumps on me. And I'm like, dude, yeah, you have to accept reality. That's why when I meet guys like I met the other night, this guy, and normally I wouldn't talk to this guy because he was wearing a Trump bracelet. Not a hat, not a shirt, but he was wearing a little rubber bracelet that said Trump 2024. Normally I would have made fun of him, pissed him off, or debated with him real quick, but the guy was super nice, and, you know, I started just saying off the wall things to him, thinking, you know, he's going to get mad at me and walk away. And he just went with it. Like, he joked back with me, and he kind of goofed off. And as a 77-year-old, I'm like, dude, you would be roughly the same age as my dad if my dad were still alive. And I wish my dad had half the personality you did. My dad was a jackass. And when he died, I did not feel bad for him. All right, so got to find a parking spot and take the train downtown. If it sounds like I'm loud, that's because I am projecting my voice in what we call our military command voice. Oops. Well, this guy decided he wasn't going any further. I have a trailer on my truck, so I'm looking for pull-through spaces, but I think he just took the last one. Because while I could pull up over here and take up like 6 spaces, I don't want to take up 6 spaces. I'm not that rude. So we're going to go, I think there's another side of this parking lot. I'm going to go over there. I haven't been over there since they started the construction. So, but yeah, I'm projecting my voice because I'm recording on my phone. My phone is plugged in to charge it while I'm driving, and I couldn't plug in the microphone at the same time. So yeah, where that white truck is coming from, I'm gonna go, I think I can go over there and see if there's any parking spots. But yeah, this is the Broadway station. Again, if you're familiar with Denver, is Broadway and I-25, if you haven't figured that out from watching the video. I usually like to come up here if I can when I'm parking or when I'm taking the train downtown, because all southbound trains come here. So you don't have to think about it. You come here. So you don't have to think if you're going southwest or southeast, you come to this, all trains come here. So as long as you catch a southbound train, you're good. Now, were there closer trains to where I was at? Absolutely. Or closer stations, I'm sorry. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll just pull in right here. Yeah, see that right there in front of me? That's the off-ramp from I-25 North to Broadway North, or Broadway South, sorry. Anywho, yeah. That's the end of our ride. Thank you for coming with me. I apologize for talking so much. And we'll do this again later.